What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing tonight? All right. Sorry for that little delay. I'm just getting things situated, and we do have a couple others that will be joining us. They are running a little late. Tonight, we will have Mr. Baldemar Galvan Jr. He was actually away from his home. He is on his way home. He should be home within the next 10 minutes. He'll be jumping on. Miss Nikki Cologne. She'll be on, but she's running late. She just got off of work, and we're supposed to have Mr. Zach Sterick from Southern Illinois Monster Hunters. Zach will be joining us. He has an announcement regarding. I do believe, I could be wrong, but I do believe he has a show coming on that he's featured on. So I'm interested to know a little bit more about that and what that's about, and where we could tune in to watch that show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one thing I always stress on here: questions. We love questions. So if you got a notepad or something you want to write some questions down, please feel free to do so. Meanwhile, I'm going to try my best to hold this down solo till we get people on here. um, Now the thing is, we're allowed to have up to 6 panel members on this live feed. If you're interested in wanting to come on here, if you have a Bigfoot story, you want to come on here and talk about your Bigfoot story, um, I would be more than glad to hear it. I want to learn about it. I'm sure the other viewers and listeners will love to hear your Bigfoot story. Everybody loves a good Bigfoot story. So I'm watching the live chat right now. So if you message me or put it here in the comments, let me know if you want to come on here live and share your Bigfoot story. Please feel free to do so. And then again, right here on the chat, if you guys have questions, we welcome questions all the time. We do not discriminate. There was one question that was asked to me, that was messaged to me on Facebook about 10 minutes ago. I'm going to read this gentleman's question. And we've discussed this in the past, but I'm going to try my best to respond to this. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. But it goes as this. I was asked, do you think Bigfoot are interdimensional creatures or strictly flesh and blood? He goes on to say, I've always believed they are interdimensional. He's just curious to what I thought. He said, it seems they disappear a lot. Well, I'm not sure exactly where I will actually start with that. Then again, let me start with the last part he mentions on here, that they seem to disappear a lot. Well, to me, that's common. To me, that would make sense. People see them, but not that often. We know that they are the world champion of hide and go seek. And then the other thing is too, when I compare them with our known species of non-human primates like gorillas, chimpanzees, I'm going to stick with gorillas for the time being, because I always like using gorillas because they're big, they're large animals. All right. Now, they've been observed within just feet away from primatologists who observe them in the wild in their own natural environment. They could disappear naturally without, no special abilities. It's all a natural occurrence. Interdimensional, anybody could believe in that, but you're believing something that has never been proven. I strictly believe, and I believe, that they are flesh and blood. Flesh and blood creatures leave physical evidence behind. We find tracks. Okay? Somebody or something that leaves tracks is a flesh and blood being or creature. So, without getting it long and drawn out, that is my point. That's the short version of why I believe they are flesh and blood. So yeah, that was a question that was asked of me shortly. I wanted to address that as a whole. So I hope that kind of clarifies my viewpoints on that. Again, that was a short version without trying to get that long and drawn out. Dino said, I've already told you mine. If it was Bigfoot, that is, I still don't know what it was. Oh, okay. I got you. Well, let me give a shout out to a few people that are on here that I see on the live chat from that's on the chat here. We got Scott Jenkins, Harold Lee Denton. He said, "Hey, I thought you was going live until 10:05 p.m." Nope. I don't know where 9:05. I mean 9:05. Unless there was an error with that. 9:05. So, again, yeah, we got Scott Jenkins. Who else we got with us? Michael Patterson. What's up, Michael Patterson? Donald Slovey, Johnny Tucker, Dinobot, Todd H, Leona Pliska, Melinda Burst, and Terry Ann Strauss, Christian Will, Jim Jerkins, Sam Squatch Rivera. Awesome. All right, cool. Let's see what we got. Sam Squatch Rivera says, flesh and blood, in my opinion, with paranormal things around. Yeah, I can agree with that. I definitely won't disagree. And, you know, the thing is paranormal. What is the definition of paranormal? You know, paranormal, a lot of people, of course, they always show. Yeah, I'm getting tongue tied trying to speak here. Hold on one second. Yeah. Yeah, paranormal has a lot to do with science in a weird way. Things that, you know, mysterious things that happen that we can't explain. So we associate them normally with paranormal. Bill Parrish said, hey, Daniel, from Hood River, Oregon. Awesome. Todd H said, I heard a theory that they might be on the autism spectrum that allows them to naturally, see, about naturally something about camouflaging or watching their tracks. Interesting. I heard, no, I take that back. The autism spectrum, there is a gentleman, I can't remember his name right now for nothing, but there is an individual who actually, I believe he writes about that in his book. I never really looked into that. And all right, the Lost Cryptids Conservatory. Yeah, I'm very tongue tied on everything tonight. So please be patient and forgive me if I'm a little tongue tied on here. So the Lost Cryptids Conservatory said, if you need anyone for upcoming shows, he said, I would. Oh, I got to scroll down to see the rest of it. So, I'd be up for it. I've had encounters and got evidence on my channel. Nice. Would love to talk about what you have going on and what you experienced. You're more than welcome to come on tonight if you like. If you send me your email, I could actually send you an invite through email. So please feel free. If you wanted to come on tonight and talk, that's totally up to you. We got a couple other things. As soon as our other panel members show up, we're going to get into a couple other things. And let Zach talk about his upcoming show that he's going to be featured on. That's if Zach does respond to me. I talked to him earlier today, and he seems to be MIA. Jim Jerkins said unknown. Johnny Tucker says, what do you think of increased sightings is due to a population boom since they would have one natural predator being man? Well, that is very possible. I could, you know, that would make a lot of sense. Cause think about it. I'm sure you guys see it where you live. I know I definitely see it here in Virginia. A lot of the land being, a lot of the forest being removed for the purpose of a new road going through there, or a new subdevelopment going in there. pipeline. We got pipeline work going on all over the place. So it could be a number of reasons, and it's pushing and moving the wildlife out of their natural environment. It is it's a force that mankind. You're absolutely right. It is a force that mankind has created, and that is, and it's not just Sasquatch, but it's it's pretty obvious if you pay attention. It's happening with all the wildlife. So yeah, like I said, land development. Um, regardless if it's shopping plazas, subdivisions, roadways, etc., etc. The list goes on and on and on. But for whatever reason, why we're taking the forest away from these, the wildlife, yeah, it's got to force them in one direction or another. So yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Melinda, that's a good question. Let's see. Hold on. Who asked that question? That was Johnny Tucker. Very good question on that. Good evening, Creek Wolf. Melinda said, "Are there very many sightings of what appears to be younger, smaller ones versus the large ones?" Yeah, I want to say there is a great. I wouldn't say there is a great number of those reports, but there are reports of seeing juveniles. I have heard of a few. Matter of fact, my encounter in 2014 involved a small one. Of course, it was what we believe to be a family unit because there was a small one involved. Um, but it's something you don't hear too often on. All right, we have Baltimore in the live chat. Baltimore, you got the link to join in live with us. So feel free to jump on in anytime. All right, Lost Cryptus Conservatory. He says he can't come on tonight. Yeah, we go live every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, definitely get in touch with me. Let's see, my email. Let me throw my email out there. I don't know if trying to see if I have it. I'll put it up there for everybody. Yeah, so if you guys give me a second, if you want to contact me, I have an email. All right. All right. So if you want to get in touch with me, ladies and gentlemen, where to go? All right, on the bottom of the screen, if you're watching, on the bottom of the screen, I have it going across the screen. So it's ecbro98@gmail.com. So definitely feel free to contact me. That is my email, and I'll leave that up there for a little while. I will definitely leave that up there for a little while. And all right, we got Mr. Baltimore Galvin Jr.
Hey, Daniel,
hey, Baltimore, how you doing?
Doing good.
Not bad. Awesome. So I've been holding down to keep up with some of these questions and comments, and we had a couple interesting ones already.
Well, shoot, let's hear them.
I covered a couple of them, but I'm gonna let you take over on these here. So, let me back up. Where was the other one? All right, where's? All right, this is the one. Tucker. He says, "What do you think of increased sightings? Is it? They're asking, is it due to a population boom? Since they would have only one natural mankind. So, sisters, yeah, I guess what?
Yeah, I mean, what's going on right now?
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, again, is that what's going on right now? Everybody's hunting. Men are we're out there hunting, and when we're in the woods, their home is the woods. And let's say I'm like this. If you're in an area and he knows that you're in an area and he knows that that's your area, and he knows that you go deer hunting every year in this certain area, you kill deer in this certain area, And then so what's the very first thing that you do if you kill a deer? You go down over there and you'll field dress the animal. You leave the other guts out there, and then that's easy pickings for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and down here in South Texas, here in Texas, we're allowed to feed our deer corn, and there are other states that totally are illegal for them to feed deer out there. But we feed deer here, and down our deer feeders, that's they stay way into the woods and everything like that, waiting for game to come to the feeders like that. They can have a free meal. And if you ever notice, the activity of Bigfoot have always increased during deer season because they know that they can find themselves an easy meal.
Hmm. Well, here's another thing I want to throw out there. I don't know. We may have spoke about this before in the past, and this is nothing on the chat, but it made me think of this because there was one time this was brought up to my attention that it actually happened here in Virginia. It was a case, one or two cases last year during the last hunting season. And it's a little off what we hasn't. It's involved with hunting. Have you ever heard of hunters shooting a deer, and then going to track it down, and where they saw it drop, it was gone by the time they got there, or they
Happens
turn their
here.
back and for just a little bit and it disappears?
Yep. Yeah, it happens here.
Now,
Not too
now,
long ago, this guy actually shot a doe and went up there to go get it. He knew it fell down the area. When he was there, it was just gone. Happened to us. A family member actually shot a small little spike, and he heard something up front of the bushes. He thought he was going to get another shot, and he was so
yeah.
concentrated on what was going on in front of him. And then all of a sudden, the noise stopped in front of him. And then all of a sudden, he went over to go pick up his deer. His deer's gone.
Hmm. Yeah, because see, it was shared. Yeah, it was shared to me last year, and the individual who shared the information, I, I don't know. He kind of the information. It was basically secondhand information, and I guess when he gave the information to me, he was lacking a lot of other details, and then to investigate something like this. I mean, I know the general idea, but the exact location, um, he didn't have none of that information. So, and there was a few other things that kind of left out. So, but when I was told about this, I was actually wanting to really investigate on that, and I couldn't do nothing about it because the guy, he meant well to get this information because this guy that gave me this information, he's a Bigfoot believer, but he's just I guess he was. I got to give him credit. He was trying as far as doing his part, trying to gather information, but he missed out on a lot of details. There wasn't much he could give me, but I guess that's just the way it goes. So, um, all right, and then moving on. Let's see what else we got here. Make sure. Oh, Christian, Will. Yeah, I did get your email this time, and yeah, I need to, yeah, I need to reread that because I do get emails and I get caught up in neglect responding sometimes. James Bama, I just stumbled upon your live. What do y'all know about skunk apes in South Florida? My friends and I have seen some stuff. I personally don't know nothing about the skunk apes down there.
Now, I want to know what kind of
Um,
stuff they've seen. You have to elaborate.
yeah, that is interesting. James, if you could share with us, like what exactly have you all seen? Yeah, like I said, I don't know nothing about the skunk ape, but um, let's see. Todd said just makes encounters more accessible. I bet. Hey, Sarah Davis. Good evening. Uh, Kelly Ray Jones. Hey, Daniel, and everyone else. What's up? All right. Kelly Ray Jones said, "Hey, Baltimore."
Hey,
All right. All right, Reed Norman said, if they are non-human apes, what species of non-human ape do you think they are most closely related to, and why? I'd say orangutans or gorillas. Well, hmm. Well, the two things about orangutans and gorillas, let's start with them alone. They both, the orangutan and gorillas, they're gorillas are more bigger and bulkier. Um, Orangutans and gorillas, they both have the long arms, very long arms, like that's described a lot with a lot of different Bigfoot features that people describe in their sightings and descriptions. I don't know. That would be kind of a tough one if I had to pick one of them. Um, the thing is, I never really compared them if they were like. I mean, I have to be careful how I word that because I wouldn't say they're one of them. Opinion, I do believe they are a type of ape, but what kind we don't know. I believe they're their own kind or something that we don't know. Because as humans, according to science, we're considered apes. Human apes in the science side. So that's why I always say that I believe they're an ape of their own kind. I mean, if they're a human hybrid, I don't know. Uh, One day I do. I think one day we might find out. I don't know. What do you think? One day we might we might just get some kind of answer.
I think the answer is already out there, and somebody already
Yeah,
knows the truth about the animals and or these creatures, whatever they are. And what you're going to find out dealing with these creatures, these animals, or whatever we want to call them, is that they're more
yeah,
human than you would ever imagine. I mean, their entertainment wise is just watching us. I could just
yeah,
imagine. The thing is, again, is you have to think outside the box. And can you imagine? They would probably know when Christmas is around because all the Christmas lights that come out. Once a month. I mean, once every year. They know these certain things. I mean, because that's again, we have to study our surroundings. And that's one thing that they actually taught us when we're young. They were actually in the woods. You have to get your bearings right. You have to know where you're at in the woods and everything like that. And to them, they're geniuses out there. There are
right,
so much of a genius that nobody. There's so many out there that nobody has actually figured them out yet. And it's going to be
yeah,
it's going to take a while for us to figure them out yet. But their main number one objective is for them to stay away from us.
yeah. And a lot of people, and I've given it some thought too, but a lot of people say, well, the government already knows. The government has, the government very well may know, because the government has a lot of secrecy. There's a lot of secret scientific labs that we don't know about. You know, um, but there's a possibility, like you just said, there's somebody out there that already knows. As far as we know, there could be an individual that's either come across something or took something, whatever. He may have some crazy person that may have a secret laboratory in their basement. I know this sounds crazy, but we don't know. I mean, all the stuff we hear that happens and goes on in the world, it's stuff that you normally hear or see in a movie. But we got some people out there in this world that are capable of anything. So
See,
it is very well
it's like
maybe some.
yeah, it's like Area
Oh,
51.
oh, go
You
ahead.
know, it's like Area 51. They know something happened out there, and they have rumor had it that they have wreckage of pieces of a down UFO there. And
Yeah,
American people come to realize that something is going on out there because nobody is telling us anything. And then, so what is there not to say that there is an area where they could just bring these creatures to these areas out there, different areas of the United States that we don't know about, that they actually have these things caged up or in laboratories and stuff like that, or just studying them on their own. I mean, we just don't know.
yeah,
Maybe they have an area of just a creature land or whatever. Maybe with a chupacabra in
oh
there,
yeah,
maybe even with a Jersey devil, whatever. I mean, we just don't know.
Yeah. Um, Reed Norman. He's bringing up DNA. He says, speaking of DNA suggests that they are in fact a species of human hybrid with human females mating with another device. No, that's Melba Ketchum. That's where that's coming from. But I don't think it's conclusive enough to be taken as fact. If it's coming from, yeah, he mentions down below, it is, yeah, he's talking about the DNA study of by Melba Ketchum. I'm actually allergic to that name right now. I'm almost prejudiced to hear that name. Because Melba Ketchum has not proven nothing. So there's no facts when it comes to Melba Ketchum. Just facts when it comes to the people that are brainwashed that follow her. But yeah. Thing is, let me explain this again. Reed, you probably never heard me explain this, but this is the simplest way I could explain about DNA and Bigfoot. All right, they have all these samples. There's a group of whoever supports and whoever's behind Melba Ketchum. They come up with all these samples, and I don't know how, whatever the way the results they get, if they're not coming up to anything matched or known, I mean, they have all these samples, and they're pointing fingers and saying it's Bigfoot. Here's the other question: do they have a Bigfoot body? Because you can't compare these samples without a specimen to compare. Because if you have all these samples and you don't have a Bigfoot body, well, if you're not able to test that Bigfoot body to see if it matches with those odd samples, how are you going to find a match? And how are you going to identify? That's what people don't understand. That's what they don't have. But um, so that DNA sequencing that got half-assed, her peer review team went AWOL. I mean, yeah, it's just a wild goose chase. Um, you know, it's just I'm trying to keep it short and sweet and without getting too long and drawn into the explanation because I'm tired to really explain it right now. So it's kind of anyway, yeah. Can't test samples with that are considered unknown or come up as this or that without comparing it to an actual body or specimen. Let's see. Now I'm trying to understand this question here by this guy named Bryce. What's your take on Bigfoot making? All right, wiki. This is the way he wrote it. I don't know if this means something or he wiki up like structures.
Oh yes,
I don't know if he meant. I'm not
yeah.
familiar with what that is.
I know what he's talking about. See,
Okay.
a wiki up is basically a Native American house that is actually made by intermingling branches and everything like that. I make them myself when I do my
Oh,
programs.
okay.
And then what the thing is was what I like that I actually like that he brought that question up is because there is a lot of stuff that they would see. The thing is, again, a wiki up is basically like a basket, basically upside down. That's what a wiki up is. And then what
Nice.
also too is what we also use as well is a lot of the oak trees. They're when they come down, we would actually put branches around there like that. We would make like a big giant nest in the inside, and there's and where you have like 3 or 4 people, maybe even 6 people, just sleeping there very comfortably. There have been stories of hunters that actually found, and they call them a rat's nest. They actually found nests like that, huge nests like that, and there was ugly smells, and they won't even bother getting close to it because they never seen anything like that before. So
Hmm.
stuff had been happening that in the 60s and 70s around here in South Central Texas. The same thing that gentleman was talking about, and the
Yeah.
answer is yes.
Awesome. Um. Hold on. I'm gonna send Zach a voice message here. Hey Zach, well, go ahead, get your butt in here, and I'll let you share your announcement. All right, there, because he sent me a message. He said, "Oh shit, sorry, I fell asleep." So after I got home, I felt like taking a nap myself, but I said I'll be all right. Um, okay, yeah. Here's another one. We've actually spoke about this before too. Terry Ann Strauss is asking, "Do you believe they recovered Bigfoot bodies when Mount St. Helens erupted?" Now, wasn't we talked about one where there was it looked like the firefighters had a body or somebody that carried out a there was something about a body.
Yeah,
Um, well, there was a theory. I don't know if it's ever been proven. So,
there was the
um,
story. Was that the story when they actually found that hairy man and they actually gave him first aid, and he actually got was taken out by a helicopter?
that might be it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The helicopter incident. That's the one
Yes.
I'm thinking about. If there's another
Yeah.
one, I'm not familiar if there is another one, but that's the one I know about. So,
Hey, put it this way: if
hmm.
let's say, let's hypothetically speaking, if they come over there and they bring take these things and put them into a big old net and they put in a helicopter and take it, where are they taking it to?
Yeah,
$1 million
exactly.
question. See, the thing is, again, is that
Now,
there's sometimes in areas where they find certain things and the public is not allowed to go down there, and then so they do their own investigations and then inside and get whatever they need to get it out, and then if somebody sees something, well, you're not allowed to talk about it, and if not, they get threatened, that's the end of the story.
absolutely.
There's how you feel
Now,
the Men in Black come out. So,
oh yeah. Now, the United States. When we all know about Area 51 and all that good stuff. Have you ever gave it thought or consideration that? Well, I mean, the answer is probably yes, but that there's probably other secret army bases that are key like that in other
sure,
various places throughout the United States. I mean,
sure.
somebody once told me there's one that's supposed to be top secret that's over in Kentucky. But someone said, yeah, if you're in the right spot out in the woods, you can see part of you can see part of their base in the distance on a high ridge. It's so wooded, it's very vast out there. So they're out in the middle of the Kentucky woods. I mean, that's big time. As far as I'm concerned, that's like serious Bigfoot country out there because Kentucky's got a lot of reports and stories out there. That's for sure. Um, and sometimes depends on where I'm driving. There's certain mountain ranges or hills and ridges here in Virginia. Sometimes you look up on top of these ridge lines or mountain hills and everything else, you see satellites up there, and then on occasions you see these small, what appears to be, I don't know, like small buildings and stuff up there. As far as we know, there's probably secret army bases inside the mountain. We never know. It would surprise the heck out of me. I mean, um, let's see what else we got here. All right, here we go. What's this? Bryce said, I've seen around 75 structures like that around where I go looking. Some are new since spring. Is it possible that the First Nations people could be teaching the young children the history and heritage, or is it more likely that the structures are Bigfoot made? Baltimore, I'm
What
going to
area?
let you jump on this one.
Where are they at? Where is this?
Uh, Bryce, if you can you mention at least the state that you're in? Um, let's see. Hold on, see if he responds. Um,
Because the only because only where area where this similar to that would be your southwest area for your mesquite and
that's what I
your
think.
yeah, and then
Like Oklahoma.
Yeah, and your areas dealing with Oklahoma, Kentucky, all the other areas, the pine trees are so super high up in the air that that's how your teepee structures come about because they could just stack each other
Mm,
up. And there's a certain way of putting these poles together like that they could stay up. There's a certain technique to doing it.
hmm.
Yeah,
So do you believe it's like today's First Nations people, like
sure.
teaching their young children their old ways?
It it basically all depends. Because there's sometimes I've seen people make like sweat lodges and things like that out of willows and things.
Oh,
And I've actually, I mean, it's very easy making a house, easily making a house by interweaving certain things. But again, it's something that
right,
you have to be taught by, and not too many people would know how to do it. Only if you actually been taught by an elder or somebody who actually knows the survival ways of survival in the woods, how to make good structures from your lean-to your wiki ups to, I mean, there's so many different structures that you could actually make from a house. Lean-to is one of the most fastest and the most popular, and then comes to your wiki ups that makes it a little bit more difficult.
right. All right. Before I go on to any other questions here, so for those who might be just down jumping on, following, you guys know that we're responding. Our discussions are becoming random. We may come back to some of the things we discussed earlier, but what we're doing right now, for those who don't know what we're doing, we're actually responding to the chat, the questions here. So we got some good questions here. You guys keep them coming.
Man, they're
Um,
great. They're awesome.
yeah, these are good. I like these. This is a very active night. This is what we appreciate. This is what we look forward to when we go live. Um, so yeah, here we go with the next question from Todd H. He's asking about the smells.
Oh
He said,
yeah.
"What is the deal with the smells? Do you think it might be the pheromones or something else?" Now that's a good question there. Now, real quick, yeah, I've heard people talk about smells in the reports, and then a lot of people say they don't smell anything. I've never really smelled anything. Maybe on a rare occasion, I might have smelled something that I just whatever bypass. Like, oh, that could be anything. Blah blah blah. There's only certain smells I really try to pay attention to. Like for example, people say bears. Certain predators, certain things I want to watch out for in the woods that might give off a certain smell. If I smell something rotten, I'm not going to even think about Bigfoot. If it turns out to be Bigfoot, okay. I personally don't feel afraid of Bigfoot situation if I'm alone, if I do encounter one. But but I'm more concerned about the predators that are known to be out in the woods. Those are the ones I worry about. You know, but I personally have. I can't say I've ever smelt anything that I could associate with a Bigfoot. How about you, as far as smell? Have you ever
When
experienced any smells that you would associate
yes,
with Bigfoot or?
yes, because when I had my sighting, I actually went to the air. See when I saw it like 40 yards away, and when we moved our vehicle just a little bit just to get a better view of the animal because I was trying to get a good picture of it, and then it was gone super fast. And then my thought was I got to
Mm,
go to that pipeline, and I got off a truck and I started running on foot out there just to get an angle of the pipeline that was there, but I could see what direction it is and what the hell it was. Because still,
right.
I didn't know what it was because all that I know was in 2 feet and black. And then the smell hit me, and it hit me like it was crossed between rotten eggs and a wet dog, and that was the smell that I got.
Now, rotten eggs.
So yeah,
That's an awful smell right there.
yeah. Well, the thing is, again, you have to think about something as well. I mean, these animals are meat eaters, and they eat a lot of stuff out there in the woods. And I'm pretty sure they eat your berries or whatever. And then also, too, the
Oh
main
yeah.
diet is basically, can you imagine if you eat like a deer and you have if you have this on on your fur or basically on your beard, for example. And then if you don't wash or take care of it, it will smell. So
Absolutely.
mhm.
Now, here's a question. Now we know, like any, long time ago. I was real young, but my father used to raise hogs, and we used to get them from the dairy farms. We used to raise them since they were little piglets up to they grew full size. Because we raised them for their meat. Now, the hog pit. Dad was pretty good at staying on top of their pen. Keeping them cleaned up. But they stunk. Their poop stinks. The reason I'm
What
making
shit?
brief mention of that. Now you guys have wild hogs down there, right?
Oh yeah.
And now the thing is, I've been down in South Carolina, and the guys that were Melissa George, her husband, and her son, um, they gave us, we did some exploring in the woods down there, and yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, they got wild pigs, wild boar down there too, and I was actually impressed. They were pointing out all the signs of, we seen the tracks. They were showing us, where they rubbed their tusks on the bamboo and everything down there. And because we were actually went through a real bamboo jungle that was back in the woods down by the swamp. And but we didn't see it. I didn't see none. We none of us saw anything during our stay down there. But the one thing I was trying to pay attention to, just in case, because there's certain animals. When it comes to smells, I'm not familiar if they have a smell or not naturally. I don't know. Would you say they have a smell or anything as far as
Pigs.
no? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like what kind of smell would be like? Would it be the
Then
smell of their poop or something else?
it just they do have a slight musky smell.
Okay.
Yeah. And the thing is, again, you'll. I mean, I put it this way: if I wanted to, I could put up a trap tonight and catch maybe one or two tonight, if I wanted to. Which I don't.
Wow.
I mean, there's so many. But thing is again, the hogs out here they come out very late at night. Maybe
Okay.
it's just about when the sun's about to go down, everything like that. Then they'll start coming out from the creek bottoms and go
That
to the
makes a lot of.
fish. And then so that's why they have this little device called a hognito, where there's a certain light that basically you can actually attach it to your feeder, and then you hit it with a remote, and you could actually see the pigs in the bottom up there. And
Oh, okay.
raw hogs is the only thing here in South Texas that you could actually shoot at night. So
Yeah, because I've seen hunting videos, um, of people hunting wild pig, boars, whatever, and a lot of time it is at night, and they're using not thermals, but they're using the night
okay,
vision
yeah.
scopes and stuff, to get them. So, um, I don't know. Maybe that was down tech. I don't know. It's been a while since I watched one of those kind of videos, but perhaps it could have been.
Hmm.
Um, Now I see we got Zach with us. He's is showing that he's muted on his end. So, oh, there you go. What's up, Zach?
Not a whole lot, my friends.
You sound like you're talking far away.
Not a whole lot.
Okay, hear you. So, you still trying to wake up?
Well, I was at a friend of mine's place. We went to the gym, and we worked out for about 2 hours tonight, and then I passed out on his couch.
Oh, okay. So you worked out at the gym and you went to his house to cuddle. I'm picking on you.
Oh,
uh, well, I'm glad you were able to make it on here tonight, Zach. One thing I was mentioning earlier at the start of this, and we're going to take a break from the questions real quick. We're going to come back to the questions, so everybody sit tight. But since we got Zach Sterrick, the founder of the Southern Illinois Monster Hunters, Zach, you have a show coming up that's going to be premiering very soon. Could you please give everybody a heads up and tell everybody what's going on?
yeah. It's on. If anybody that lives in the the southeastern area of Missouri, the northwestern part of Kentucky, southern Illinois, anywhere that gets WSIL PBS tonight at 11:30 p.m. on PBS for WSIL's news station. They will be debuting the alternate news 2646 episode that the Southern Illinois Monster Hunters were featured on that we filmed for this past July.
Now,
And
is that a what is that? Is that a okay? So it's a news channel that's doing it.
say that again, you broke up.
All right. Now you said the channel the PBS news station or the channel on TV.
It's on whoever gets WSIU, the news station that PBS runs on here in the tri-state area.
Okay. And that 11 p.m. is that Central Time?
11:30 p.m. Central Time.
Okay.
It's only a half
All
hour
right.
spot.
Well, that's pretty cool though.
It is.
It was a blast shooting for this show, and whenever they contacted us, Daniel, you was the one that pointed it out, and I contacted the head producer of the show, and they come out about a month and a half later to my July 27th town hall, and they filmed that. I took them out, and we was out in the woods filming for about 8 hours that night. I mean, we didn't get out till about I want to say we got out probably about maybe 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and we started the night before.
Oh, okay. That is pretty cool. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I could. I'm not sure if I could. I know you said it's gonna cover the area out there, but I know I don't. PBS is actually it's a regular public station, PBS, which stands for Public Broadcasting System, or station. But television is it used to be one of your basic television. So perhaps anybody that may have PBS could check that out. By any chance, would you happen to have a DVR for your TV or a way you could record it? Maybe for those who might not be able to see it. Yeah, I definitely want to check it out. That'd be cool if you could record it somehow.
Yeah, we're going to because I don't have satellite, so we're recording it on my grandparents' TV, and we're all going to watch it tomorrow evening.
Cool.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I don't have to worry about getting copyrighted and banned from live streaming on Facebook. I might just go and live stream it when we're watching it.
Cool. That'd be great.
I tell you, it's been a whirlwind in 2 weeks. I mean, I made my wrestling debut this past Saturday, which was an awesome experience. And then we got the book People and Places of Southern Illinois Volume 2 that come out this past Monday that I'm in. You can find it on Amazon by Mark Nice, and he's a local photographer from SIU. And then we got the episode that's premiering tonight.
That's a good deal right there. That sounds good. Zach, you moving on up? Good times.
People may go and say that and everything, but honest to God, I am just happy, that I'm able to go out there and do this and use these many platforms to, show that there is something that goes, and the Bigfoot phenomenon isn't just on the other side of the world or on the other side of the country in the Pacific Northwest. It's very much a staple of Southern Illinois for the past century. And I'm just blessed that I'm able to go out and use these platforms especially on television. Finally, I was sitting there thinking the other day, and I was looking through one of my old yearbooks. My sophomore year, I was voted most likely to appear on television, and look where I'm at here now, 7 years later.
Well, that's good.
Hmm.
I took it as a
Yeah,
fluke,
there it is.
but
What's that?
I said I took it as a fluke.
Yeah, that's a good deal. Now we'll talk to Russell Cord, see if we can get you on his show.
Oh, good luck. Get me on flying out there to Washington.
Oh man. Actually, talking about Russell Cord's show, we might get into talking about that here in a little while. I'm gonna see if Nikki might be jumping on. She was on the live chat, so that means she must be home. So she may be getting herself situated.
I will say this.
So I know Nikki
for
watched.
anybody, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
I will
Oh
say
no, you're
this,
fine.
anybody that's curious of how AAPW Resurrection turned out, well, I'll tell you, we got there and we set up about 1 o'clock. We got set up, went back and we put our gear on and we started training and warming up. Well, it's sitting there and the doors opened up at 5:30. And all the wrestlers are back there. Bo, Mathis, Hargis, Heath, Spade, all the people that are supposed to be on the card. Heath comes in, storming in the locker room, about rips a freaking door down. And this was at 5:30 when the doors opened. And he comes running in and he says, "Y'all, can I have y'all's attention? We all quieting down." He's like, "Y'all, my girlfriend just informed me that we just sold our 600th ticket and there's people still coming in the door."
Wow.
Wow.
And then at the end of the night, the head count of it, I want to say we had approximately 725 people.
Wow,
Man,
that's great.
that's a good turnout for that.
Which is a
Man.
record for any Stride Pro Wrestling show. Like when we did Redbird Rumble here, I think they said about 2-3 years ago, there was 620 people and it was crammed inside of the West Frankfort gym. And whenever they did the Redbird Rumble, and
Wow.
yeah, and that was their first Redbird Rumble. And this year, coming year, they're going to be doing their third Redbird Rumble. But we went out there. I went out there and I got my shit in. I got out, and it was really good. I mean, I thought my nerves were going to be killing me, but I walked through that curtain. And I've got all my garb on and everything. I walked through that curtain. I'll tell you, there's nothing like being in front of a wrestling crowd.
Wow.
And
That's pretty cool.
Hey, Lupe, how you doing?
And then at the end of the night, we was all picking up, and I asked Hat, and I said, "How much money do we raise for Curly tonight?" And he said, "About 10 grand."
Wow.
Yeah. And that was from the raffles that they did, the 50-50 drawing they did, the ticket sales, and the concession stands. None of the wrestlers that turned out for the card took home a check that night.
That's good. Wow, that's great.
And these are and one of them, Brian Espinoza, he come out and he wrestles for OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling, the original WWE proving grounds. He drove all the way from out in Louisville to come out here and wrestle. But I mean, it was an awesome experience. It was a good card. I'm proud to say we raised up a lot of money for old Curly, and he'll be able to have his heart surgery that he needs done.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, is there any scheduling for any other upcoming events you'll be doing with the wrestling?
I mean, I know I'll be there setting up and everything. We haven't planned the card or anything because really, I don't expect to be wrestling except for maybe the Redbird Rumble because they've got New Year's beat down the Stride Cup, which is basically the March Madness style bracket. They've already drawn up the brackets and they've got everybody, and whoever wins the Stride Cup will get a contract where they can go and challenge for the Stride Heavyweight title at any event at any time, any date for a calendar year. And I mean, it's a stacked card and everything for the Stride Cup. But coming up January 11th in Carterville, Illinois, at the Stride Wrestling Academy, we'll be having New Year's Beatdown. Get your tickets there at the door. They're $10 for adults, $5 for children, 12 and under. Then coming up February 1st, we'll be having Redbird Rumble at West Frankfort High School in West Frankfort, Illinois. Tickets are the same thing. February 22nd, we'll be doing No Love Lost event, and it'll be in Johnson City, Illinois, at Johnson City High School. All the ticket prices never change. They're all $10 at the door, $5 for kids 12 and under, and all the doors open up at 6 o'clock. Bell time's at 6:30.
Cool.
All right. And just to let everybody know, Miss Nikki Cologne is on her way in. She sent me a message on Facebook. She says, because I told her, I said, when I saw her on the live chat, I sent her a message to come on in. And she replied to me. She said, I'm stuffing my face. I'm starving. And then she said, I'm coming. So she's on her way. So, yeah, we'll get Nikki on here shortly. Baltimore, by any chance, have you gotten to watch the new Bigfoot?
No.
No.
I've been working a lot, and I have been watching the soap operas that's been coming out on the CNN, and just sitting down there and just enjoying it. So
okay.
So I haven't been having to watch anything else.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah. It came out this past Sunday for the episode 1 for the season 1, and it was pretty good. I know Nikki watched it, so when Nikki gets on, we'll probably discuss it a little bit, get her take on that. Zach, what about you? Were you able to watch that? The new Expedition Bigfoot?
Nope.
It's on the Travel Channel. Which, if you don't have a Travel Channel like me, I actually downloaded the app on my phone. So now there's all kinds of different episodes. I'm able to watch it. That's what I did last time. So, hey, Frank Stroud is on here. He said, "What's up, y'all?" He said he just finished watching WWE SmackDown.
Oh, cool.
So,
was it any good? I wasn't able to watch it. I'm gonna watch the highlights later. I want to know, was it any good?
Well, let's see what he says here. So, Frank, if you're listening, have you heard?
That's all we talk about it on Tuesdays and Thursdays when we wrestle.
Cool. All right. Nikki's having a slight delay. She said she had to restart her tablet. I guess it was giving her some trouble. So, let's see. Now, while Zach was talking about that, let me back up. I noticed there was a few people were still talking about the smells.
Now, let me.
we were talking about.
Now, here's a question here too. Now, there has been stuff also, that people would actually see it, but didn't talk anything about the smell because they didn't smell anything, but they would actually see it and they went to the same area that they actually saw it but didn't have the smell. And then so the thing is, it comes to mind is that we just don't know anything about this creature. And he goes, "Do you think that that he goes in the water to bathe to get away from these smells?" That's other questions that we have to ask, because again, we don't know nothing about these animals. Maybe the smell is because maybe it could be a hot day, or maybe after it's eaten something, maybe of that smell. The way it is when you go over there and you shoot a gut shot a deer, and you have that ugly smell of the
Blood and
intestine.
stuff.
So,
Yeah.
but again, it's I mean, again, I mean, we don't know too much about these animals, and we don't know whether if it goes bathed or not, because down here in South Central Texas, we definitely do have a lot of rivers here. So
Yeah. As far as yeah, like you mentioned, could it be warm? Yeah, it depends on the temperature. It's like going by a dairy farm or something in the summertime. If they just got done, like for example, when the farms around here, I'm surrounded by farms and stuff. When they spread manure in their fields,
hmm
there's certain days you can smell it stronger than others,
right,
especially in the more warmer, hotter days. Versus when it's cold. Sometimes when it's cold, sometimes you can still get smell. Like when I drive by this one farm, I got to go by it all the time. When I drive by it, even with the cold temperatures we're getting right now, yeah, you can still get a whiff, even with the windows up. You can just still smell it when you drive through there,
right,
but it's not as strong as if it was when it was heated up.
right.
Um, so yeah, definitely that plays a key role in a lot of what we smell anywhere. The other thing through the woods. Now, either if you're walking through the woods, especially after a good rainfall,
Yeah,
I know a lot of times a lot of rotten trees, a lot of down trees, even standing trees. Sometimes certain wood will give off a distinct smell sometimes, and some of that
right,
smell, especially if it's a rotten log, it'll give off a kind of a slightly funky smell. You know,
right.
so a lot of people kind of neglect that too. In the woods, especially if it's wet, yeah, you'll smell something. Um,
Now, also too, you come to some areas where you have a lot of raccoons or whatever out there, and they always do their stools or whatever at one certain area, and you could
mhm.
actually smell that pretty bad. Especially when they eat their berries and everything like that. Like you said, after a light rain, you could actually smell all the musk, everything. And I gotta let you know something else as well. The other day, I have a certain bird feeder down way deep into the creek, and I decided to go stay out there for a few hours. And sure enough, and again, you have to pay attention to your hearing of certain things, and all of a sudden you could actually hear like stuff fall from the trees and everything. And then if you really pay attention, don't pay attention, you could actually sounds like something's getting thrown at you, but it's
Oh
actually the
yeah.
squirrels getting the mouse, or the dead, or a good wind would come, and you could actually hear the rotten stuff to the tree just falling. And people could actually hear that, saying, "Oh, that's Bigfoot related." No, it's actually what happens in everyday nature. So
Well, I know somebody who think when this certain person first shared this little information talking about woodpecker. Well, he's talking about he said, "Yeah, you know where they're at when they communicate with." He'll hear a tap tap over here on one side, and then over on the other side of him, he'll hear another tap 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 tap. And it never really dawned on me. But I was actually when I was out hunting the week of Thanksgiving, I'm sitting out there, sitting there just inside a tree line overlooking a clearing. But I'm sitting there, I hear crows, I hear squirrels going crazy, and then one other thing that's nonstop was all around me is woodpeckers. And I will listen to the sounds of the woodpeckers. And a lot of some of the trees that they were working on were dead tall, they were standing dead trees. and you can hear when they're pecking at these trees. They're some of them sound like boom, 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 boom. Because I guess parts of it are hollow and they're rotted, and then
Exactly.
again you hear knock. I'm listening to it. I was like,
Yeah.
and when I'm hearing all this, I'm like, I start laughing out loud because the thought that ran through my head was this individual saying, "Yeah, you'll hear a tap tap over here and a tap 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 over there." I said, "That freaking idiot!" I was laughing myself. I was like, "They're woodpeckers." Because some of the
Yeah.
woodpeckers, yeah, they give off knocks. Some of them sound bassy. It all depends on the tree and whether in what direction. I mean, I had woodpeckers all around me. I was even watching because I was watching. Sometimes when you hear one that's close, you can kind of look and kind of find it in that location. You can see it on the tree, and then you'll see it fly across, go over there. You'll hear them start tapping over there. So yeah, woodpeckers are pretty interesting birds. They can be kind of annoying at times, but especially when you're out there trying to listen for or and pay attention if you're hunting or focused on something else. But so,
Oh, definitely.
um,
Hey, Daniel, I got
Nikki,
something going on
hello.
here in Beeville. I got something
Oh,
going on
okay.
here in Beeville as well, and I'd like to talk about it. Last year, I did a Bigfoot Christmas tree here in called the McClanahan House. It's an old historic house, and we basically raised funds for. It's the oldest one of the oldest houses in B County, and I'm actually one of the people involved with it. And so this year we have a Bigfoot tree up there. So if anybody wants to donate $1 for a vote towards this tree, there's like 28 trees, and I'm number 28. I'm basically in last place. So if anybody wants to donate $1 or whatever towards this cause, you can find it on my Facebook page or at the McClanahan House page. It's called the Historical Society page.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Um,
it's actually pretty nice little I did
interesting.
this year. Yeah.
Uh, okay. Oh, you have already done it this year?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I had man, kids love it. Kids love it. People take pictures of it and everything like that. This year, I actually got a Bigfoot in the back of the tree coming out and actually holding an ornament like he's actually decorating the tree. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
People
Oh,
love it.
Miss Nikki Cologne, have you had enough to eat yet? Uh-oh. Where's your audio? We have no
Oh,
audio on you. I see your lips moving,
oh
but no
no.
sound.
Make sure your
Oh, it's the
microphone's closed
iPod.
on.
It's the iPad. Oh no. You got it,
How
Nick?
Here,
about
Nikki.
now?
Perfect.
Can
There
you
you
hear
Here,
me
go.
Nikki. You want to
now?
borrow my
Yes.
tablet? Yeah, I hear you.
Well, I can't use
I was
these.
gonna
I
send
don't
you
know.
my tablet through
Something's
the
wrong.
phone.
I
Through the.
won't use. I don't know.
Hold on. Your volume's a little low, but I hear you.
Oh crap! Now I can't hear. Now
Well,
I can't hear
I hear you
Daniel.
now. I hear you better.
I hear you, Dan. I
Can
hear
you hear
you.
me?
I don't know what happened
Yeah.
here. Let me see. Kwanzaa.
Yeah, my phone decided to talk.
Yeah, it was her. It was from her. I think. I should probably jump back in. But yeah, I heard her that time talking. She just didn't hear us. So
Daniel, have y'all had any Bigfoot reports out there
oh,
here
all the
recently?
time. As far as recent, no, not in recent, no. But I trust me, I'm always open ears. And there's, you know, I hope to gather some, because one of the things I do, I got Bigfoot cards with my
Huh?
name and contact information. And throughout my travels here throughout the state, I mean, I leave them in different places. And
Mhm.
hey, maybe somebody might see that and say, "Hey, wait, that's how I've gotten some of my reports in the past years. People find my information and say, look, I saw something, it's pretty cool. So,
Yeah, yeah, because
recently,
I because there's one thing that I haven't found here yet, and I'm kind of curious about it. I haven't seen any of the X's that people actually talk about. I have not seen any of those here. The only things that I've seen here are arches now and twist, but I have not seen
yeah.
any X's. And I was wondering if it could possibly be because of maybe these X's is more or less where taller trees like pine trees are, like towards East Texas and where y'all are at. So
Well, for the record, I'm glad I don't see none of my exes. I'm sorry.
That was bad. Can you hear me
Oh,
now?
no,
yes, we can.
no. Oh, yeah. Can
I
you
just
hear
have
us?
to. Yeah, I can hear you guys now, but I can't use my headset. I don't know why it won't work.
Maybe it was a bad headset.
Yeah, my daughter borrowed
Ah.
them, so I'm sure she
There you
broke them.
go.
It's funny you
Oh,
mentioned that because I've always let Brianna use my earbuds. I always keep a good pair of earbuds, and she always uses them to play on her phone. And I get them back. I said, Brianna, why is the earpiece missing? But why is
yeah.
it?
I can't have nothing nice.
But
Nothing.
I know I usually got to keep my stuff hidden. Well, I mean, when she's over here, but she's out watching a movie right now. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Tonight's a movie night, so after I'm done, we rent Redbox. So yeah, we're gonna watch a few movies here. Nikki, while we got you on here and we all have audio with each other, I brought it up briefly a little while ago. Um, I know you watched it, but Expedition Bigfoot.
Yep.
What's your take on that?
When you watch these shows on TV, you have to take it for the entertainment value, you know?
Right.
Um, so I liked it. It was entertaining. I watched it. I know who Russell Accord is. I didn't know who the other people were, but I know Russell's his background, and I already knew. I trusted him, and I like what he's done for Bob Gimlin, and so it was nice seeing somebody I knew about. I think I've talked to him maybe once, but
Yeah.
uh that's about it. But I liked it. It was good. I mean, it's around the same thing that you see with a lot of the other type of Bigfoot um shows that are on. I mean, I thought it was even a little better than Finding Bigfoot. It seems a little more interesting. Already there's drama with even the first episode. With the guy getting at the end,
The
he has
headache.
a headache. Yeah,
Yeah.
he gets a headache, and
Yeah.
he has to be kicked off because of a medical. So we'll see who is brought on to replace him, and
Well,
we'll see.
guess who sounds so jealous of this new show?
Oh, I
Well,
can
two
guess.
people. I don't have to mention the one. The one, yeah, but someone else also from Finding Bigfoot, Matt
Oh, really?
Moneymaker. Let me
Oh,
read you his tweet.
oh, really? He
Yeah,
tweeted.
I yeah, and I sent this to Russell Accord, and Russell Accord said, "Well, he's in." But this is what Matt Moneymaker said about the new show, Expedition Bigfoot. He goes on. I am finally watching Expedition Bigfoot on Travel Channel, and it's making me laugh. It's so contrived, and fake. Bigfoot and Thermal video at the beginning is a flat out hoax, and they are referring to it sense as if there is only one of them. And then he abbreviates OMFG. You know
Oh,
what that stands.
yeah,
That coming from Matt Moneymaker, as far as I'm concerned, that is a very unprofessional statement.
it
I
is.
mean, that man here, I mean, maybe he does have a jealous streak about him. That's what I gather from him because think about these major Bigfoot conferences. He's never been invited to none of them.
Yeah.
The Ohio Bigfoot Conference always invites Cliff and Bobo.
Mm-hmm.
Cliff and Bobo get to attend all these other conferences throughout the country,
Yep.
and so Matt Moneymaker, yeah, like you said, he doesn't get an invite. Um, I've seen him where when he was a little younger, he was talking to a group of students. I believe they may have been from a college. I don't know, but this is my opinion about Matt Moneymaker, and I'm sure anyone who's seen enough of him, either on or off finding Bigfoot, Matt Moneymaker is very arrogant and very self-righteous. Like he like a know-it-all.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he talks about he knows everything about Bigfoot, and I mean, I feel like he does that. It makes him feel bigger. Like I don't know, but it got him nowhere. You know, so that's one thing I noticed about there's people that brag. It gets them nowhere.
If
And we
anything,
know.
he should have taken the higher route and said, "Hey, congratulations on the new show. All the best of luck." That would have been the more professional thing to say and do and move
Yeah.
on, right?
Right.
So
Oh yeah.
it really puts a light on him and not favorably for sure. So, um,
Yeah. I don't know whatever happened. He was supposed to have a show. I don't know. And no one's ever heard, or I never heard no other further mention of it. Supposedly he was supposed to have a show. I don't know what it was called. I think it had something to do with Native American and Bigfoot. But do you know what I'm talking about?
about that too, but
It was a wild.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, probably got canceled.
Maybe something didn't go through. Maybe it didn't work out on his end.
Yeah,
But
because
yeah, my response.
dealing with
Oh, go ahead, Baltimore.
when you deal a lot with Native American people. I mean, there's some native tribes that would not let anybody in or give them any type of information or anything.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like Bill Lancaster. Bill Lancaster did a phenomenal job out there, and we talked a little bit about certain things and about certain things, giving offerings to elders and little things like that that anybody needs to know about, and dealing with respect and honor. And he did a
Yeah.
fantastic job putting together the Native American Bigfoot. He did a phenomenal job. I haven't seen it yet, but I did see the trailer of it, and again, he did a fantastic job.
Right.
And because there's some tribes, I
I
mean,
have.
there's some tribes that will not let outsiders in. I mean, it's there's some tribes that will not, but there's only a certain few that they will let in, and there's very few people that you
Right.
can actually trust. So
Yeah. Bill's new um, documentary. I definitely have to make sure I get it. I have all his other ones so far, but I'll keep it up with his, and I definitely want to stay on top of it. Yeah. Um, there was the one I wasn't crazy, but it was the information that the people shared in it. I wasn't crazy about. I'll put it that way. It was the one regarding. I think it was like the UFO one. It was probably the paranormal Bigfoot one. Um, it was interesting. There's just some of the stuff that was shared in it. It just seemed a little. I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me. It didn't. It was kind of over my head. I guess I don't know. but
Which one are you
but
talking
yeah,
about?
I like his. What's that?
Which one are you talking about?
What was that, Nick?
Can you hear me?
Oh, paranormal. I think I'm pretty sure it was paranormal Bigfoot.
Oh.
Bill Lancaster's
Oh,
documentary.
oh, oh, oh. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just stating that there was just some of the information that the people that were featured in it was just, I don't know. I just wasn't crazy about it. They just
Mm-hmm.
because some of the stuff that what we would consider the woo, you know, I guess that's probably why I wasn't really into it.
Did you ever
but
get to watch any
but
of
yeah,
Mountain Beast Mysteries?
hold on, you kind of broke up there a little bit.
Did you ever get to watch the Mountain Beast Mysteries?
Oh no, I have not. I have not, and I one of these days I will get to it. Yeah, I don't know when I'll be able to watch it, but I when you sent it to me, I actually had a little time that time, but I just didn't start. I said
Uh,
I figured I'll wait till I have a little bit more time, or So,
I
but
remember
yeah, every now
he
and then
was
I do sit down and watch things.
he would be
What's
real
that?
successful on doing a TV type show. Um, all his documentaries are, I think they're outstanding. I think the quality of his work is right up there with any major show.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
I'll have to
from
definitely.
history.
ch- Yeah, I'll definitely check him out and get some information. Just watch how he conducts his stuff, and uh, he
He really
sounds like
gets
he would
out there.
be a yeah. He sounds like a great person to. He would be a great. He would make a great guest. It sounds like maybe
Yeah,
in the future, maybe I'll try to find a way to make contact.
he recently was on Bigfoot Odyssey.
I've
Oh,
heard.
okay.
I never heard. I never even seen Bigfoot Odyssey or heard of Bigfoot Odyssey. I never heard any of the stories.
Uh, do you know Kerry Arnold by any chance?
Who?
We've had him on. He's been on our podcast before. His name's Kerry Arnold.
I probably. I
He's from
think I talked to him before. Hmm.
okay, yeah, he's been on our podcast before. He's from Texas. Isn't he, Nikki?
No, they're in uh Louisiana.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I was
Oh,
under the impression he was from out of Texas.
well, he works in the oil fields here in Texas, but he lives.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah,
Because yeah, the one time he was talking with us, he was live. He was there at his camper trail. Yeah, because yeah,
yeah,
he was
yeah.
down in Texas
He
the one
works
time he
over
was on
there,
here.
but
So
he lives in another state. Yeah, so
okay, interesting. Um, let's see. Let me check here. See what we got here. Let's see. I'm not sure what everyone's discussing on the chat right now. So tell you what, we're gonna get ready to end soon. Because I don't want to be on too late because I want to be able to go sit and enjoy a movie or two with my daughter.
mm.
Um, do you guys, either one of you guys, have any other information or anything that you guys want to share to everybody before we go off air?
And tomorrow, tomorrow I'm going to go down some creeks tomorrow to go see if I find. The other evening, I went out there and actually heard a tree break and a pretty nice little crash. And I'm going to go check it out to go see what because of it has been real. It's been a little bit rainy down here, and maybe I could get lucky and find a track or something. So now
Right.
Dr. Morty came out, and I don't know if I show you the twist or not that happened a few months ago down in the area that I was looking at, and I told you the story about it, and
Yeah.
I'm more or less checking now the little arches that I've been finding, and that they're pretty neat. So that's one thing I'm really going to be focused on and checking if I could find some more little arches like that out there.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Uh,
that Jenna's coming down. Jenna might be coming down to Galveston. I probably might get together with her and maybe show her some spots before she goes back. And because the thing is again is like I really don't know. I could take people to areas and everything like that, and I really would love to go camping on it. But again, it's like what happens if this thing comes out at night. How is one person going to react with it? So That is one
Right.
element that I'm not too familiarized with. So, Daniel, let me ask you this:
Uh,
let's say, for example, if actually one came to your camp, what would you
mhm.
do?
Well, if one appeared in my camp, uh, if I was alone and not, I guess it would be a different situation if I was alone compared to if others were with me. But I I imagine this if I was this encounter one like face to face kind of encounter. I guess I've often rehearsed this in my head. I would actually try to stay calm, and I've always questioned myself: would I take a chance to approach it? Well, a lot of people say they would never approach one, but I always imagined maybe approaching one slowly, and if I felt wasn't threatened by me, or if I felt that it was not a threat, first of all, I would want impression that it could trust me, because I definitely would not mean no harm to anything, unless I was threatened and had to protect myself, whatever. But I would definitely observe it by all means. Take notes of every little detail I can. So, I mean,
See, the thing is, for
that's
me,
just
I mean, yeah, for me, it's the there's the fear factor. The fear factor would take over, and then after that, try to
oh
keep
yeah, natural.
things like that. And the thing is also and then that's what people sometimes don't take their equipment out just to actually photograph it or whatever because there's so much fear in it. Because I mean, it just does something to you once you see it. We don't know if it's aggressive or we don't know anything about this animal if he's there. And
Yeah,
because I heard the screams and everything like that type deal that makes your skin crawl. And then the thing is, again, once you bring somebody out there,
right,
the very first thing you will be, go into the truck. Make sure your vehicle is so close to your tent like that you could, practice a form of escape. So, and then
right,
comes
absolutely.
your philosophy. And then comes your philosophy is that is it are you actually fearing for your life at this moment in time? A lot of things come to mind. So when I do certain research and everything like that, once it gets dark, I take off. So
Okay, yeah. I think my uh, I think my signal's kind of messing up a little bit too. It's cutting everybody out.
oh wow.
Um, and I keep seeing a buffering. Yeah, it keeps buffering a little bit on my end. So yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing that and discussing that. And I think we'll go ahead and end it tonight. For those who tuned in, thank you guys very much. And Nikki, I saw how you caught Mr. James Bam on there. Yeah, thank you. Um, I was actually getting ready to go do that, but when I got on my phone, I just got on my phone to go over the YouTube on my phone. I said, "Oh, I saw that you had already caught it." So,
Well, hey, we
so
have off nights. Sometimes we don't talk about like major events, or and we sometimes we don't have um guests on, other than us. So
oh yeah.
it happens.
So I know
Uh,
I'm trying to keep up and do this every Friday times. I'm really tired and I might cancel it out. So I try to watch how I announce it when I announce it. So
yeah,
because I know on Friday, if they don't work on the weekends,
yeah.
I know they want to go out, all that good stuff. Now next Friday, I won't be live. Next Friday, Friday the 20th, there will not be no podcast because I'm gonna try and make sure I could hold on to some money for next Friday because next Friday is the new Star Wars comes out in theaters. So
Oh, we
I'm
got
definitely
tickets.
gonna make sure I. Oh, did
New
you?
Star
Yeah, I'm
Wars.
definitely making sure I'm going.
Yeah, my husband got
Yeah, I
us
love some Star Wars.
the preview tickets, the opening on Thursday. So
Oh, okay.
we got.
Yes. See, we don't get that out here.
Oh yeah, he got those a long time ago. It was through his work, and he got them like a couple months ago. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. All right. Let me check something out here. Okay, real quick before we go off here. Baltimore, in regards to what you were asking about, if we ever came, Todd H actually responded. He said, "Yeah, stay calm, do anything sudden." He said, "I wouldn't walk toward it, but more likely I'll fall on my ass from my legs giving out."
That
No,
would be me.
but yeah.
Daniel,
Now the
I
thing.
mean,
Okay. Oh,
so the
I
thing
was just
is,
gonna make
again, I
mention.
mean,
You made mention.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, go ahead. There must be a delay in our response.
There is
All
a.
right. What I was gonna make. Yeah, I was gonna make a mention. You said the fear factor would take over, and I actually believe that. Situation I had where even though I didn't see nothing, the back in 2015 I was camping, and when I heard something very large and heavy bipedal walk away from me, um, yeah, I didn't see it, but I know what I was hearing. It was something very heavy, and it was on 2 feet, just inside the tree line. Yeah, the fear factor took over because I felt my heart starting to beat up in my chest, and I was slowly walking backwards because I and keeping the spotlight in that direction. Even though I heard it walking away, I had that fear of I'm alone out here, and there's something very large right there. But
Exactly.
so yeah, you know, so that could happen too. I mean, I know I always we could all talk about well what we might want to do or how we might want to experience it. But yeah, that fear factor is going to have a lot of factors.
Oh, definitely. You know,
So yeah,
yeah, it's
so
basically like what comes to mind is get inside your vehicle, make sure the fires are turned off, and throw water on them, get in the vehicle, and take off. Because
yeah,
because uh, because the thing is, again, dealing with researchers searching, you really have to go out there and really find out what's really out there. And but
yeah,
and it's also too when once you have that fear saying that you could probably get hurt here, and trying to explain to somebody actually what actually happened to you that particular time. So that's why for me it's always good to have a whole
yeah.
bunch of other people with you, just in case if something would happen like that. More people out there could help you out a little bit. So yeah.
Yeah, the one situation I remember another fear time I had. Yeah, I had fear taking over. I was camping in this another area deep down over on top of another. I was on the other side of a mountain down into this little hollow, and this area was new to me. It was introduced to me by a friend of mine I used to work with because he's a skeptic, but he had heard stories from other people in that area. But the night I tried to camp there alone, and the thing is, he told me how it gets out there. It's underneath the power line
Uh-huh.
system, and this is right there. It's right before the West Virginia line, and it's all you're surrounded by woods and mountains. And when the cool air dampness settles down, it gets foggy. You already get this eerie
Yeah.
feeling to begin with. And I camped there with this one guy before, and while we were there at nighttime, we didn't see it, but we heard a grunt, and it came from a bear. He said, "That's a bear that's nearby." So me and him, we grabbed big jugs and bucket making noises, and then after that, we never heard no more. Well, hopefully, we scared it away. Well, the one night I was there, now keep in mind I was by myself, and it was I had my sidearm with me too. I had my tent set up. I had plenty of lighting, and my sidearm was sitting on the little table I had next to me. And I'm sitting there, and behind me, slightly behind me, off to my far right. Actually, yeah, no, my left. I'm sorry. I'm facing one direction, but off to my left, I hear this loud crack, and it's dead quiet. It's silent out there, and all from out of nowhere, you hear this crack like something's being broke. And in my heart, I mean, I'm going crazy. I said, "There's a freaking bear over there." I said, "That's a little too close for comfort, and I can't see it because it's dark and foggy out there." So that's what I do. Was the same thing. I started banging thing, bang. I kept doing it for a while. I said, "This is loud." I said, "I'm banging it real loud." I said, "This got to scare. If that's a bear, it's got to scare it away." So I sit down and I start to calm down again, and then, well, maybe 5 minutes later, crack right behind my, and I get up, grab my gun, grab the spotlight, and I'm holding it like this, and I can't see nothing because the fog is so thick and it's dark. I was like, I'm not camping here alone again. I grabbed all my valuables, threw it in my blazer I had at the time. This was back 3 or 4 years ago. I threw all my stuff in my blazer and left my tent set up. I just took all, just threw it in. I didn't care how it looked. I just threw it in the back of my blazer, and I got in my blazer and I drove all the way back up that mountain because you got to go all the way up and then come back down to the other side to get out. And I was like, I waited about 2 weeks. I returned my tent, everything. What I did left there was still untouched. So I just got my stuff but yeah, the fear took over big time that day because it could have been a bear that was very what's the word? Very blunt. I mean, most bears usually scare off, but yeah, like I said, I didn't see what was there. I don't know what was breaking stuff behind me, but it gave me enough fear to get out of there and not to take that chance, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, so like I
See
said, I
that?
can't
See
say that
that?
was yeah, I can't
Yeah.
say that was Bigfoot because I didn't see what was breaking trees and limbs around me. But it
See,
could have been. You never know. There's been sightings and stories from that area. That's why I was camping there. So
right.
so
There's some stuff dealing with that comes to mind sometimes when people research at night and they actually
yeah.
really truly hear the growling and the stomping and the smell and stuff like that. Where they never talk about the fear factor. You
Yeah.
know, and so blah blah blah. They talk about stuff nonchalantly and like nothing bothered them. Oh, we heard this, we heard that, but never about the just making that skin crawl feeling of fear. Want to take off from there or something. Because people do
Yeah.
that with fish hunting, and but now we ain't dealing with spirits. We're dealing with the flesh and blood thing that could snap your neck and well, whenever it wants because it's so fast. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. Even though I didn't see what was breaking and cracking on, I give that some thought. It could have been if it was a Bigfoot. I mean,
yeah,
he was moving in pretty close.
oh for sure, sure.
He's because nobody normally camps in that spot. The guy who showed me that one spot, he said that's when he goes out there. That's where he's camping. But he said it
Right.
was off the main. It was off the main trail, and you got to drive in there, and if I posted the ones that they look like muddy, wet tracks. That's
Yeah,
where it
I
came
thought that was
from.
pretty cool. Wow.
Yeah, they came from that area. That's what made me scared. I'm like I said, I can't say that was Bigfoot. If you don't see it, you can't say it was. But
Hmm.
I like to believe it was. but
Oh yeah.
but so oh, I'll tell you what, Baltimore and Nikki,
This falling
I'm gonna go
night,
ahead and call. Yeah, it's definitely so.
Nikki's still
Um,
eating.
why she was turned her camera off. Well, my daughter didn't eat leftover pizza. I might have a slice or two too. So that's what we had tonight. Me and we all met up with my parents and had pizza tonight. And so,
Mm.
but so
How's your
yeah.
dad?
Thank you guys. Oh, he's doing pretty good. He's
Good.
doing pretty good. You wanna know something embarrassing? 'Cause
What?
this is my parents go there all the time,
Uh huh.
and there's only like one or two. There's two waitresses that work there,
Uh huh.
and waitresses, and of course you got the guy that owns the place. He cooks and everything. So dad, he had a couple drinks, and he knows, like I said, the girls there. He knows both of them. The one girl, she's real cute. She's a doll. So dad's got to introduce me to her. I said, Dad, really? And my son, he's single. That's really, Dad. So I don't know. Yeah, he was, but it was fun though. But yeah, he feels like he's going to introduce me to every
Sure.
female he meets. I guess he's trying to get me married for the third time. So I don't know. So, but anyway, yeah, that was tonight. But thank you guys, everybody who tuned in and stayed with us on the chat. And it was fun. We love the questions. Bring them again. But next Friday on June 20, excuse me, June. Where am I thinking June? December 20th, there will be no live streaming unless we decide to do it on Saturday. So Saturday is a possibility, but there's no promises as of yet. So, and since I won't, just in case I don't speak to any of you guys between now and next time we go live, Merry Christmas. So, and Happy New Year, just in case I don't get to speak with half you guys. So thank you guys
You know
again.
you talk
Keep
to me every
watching.
day.
Well, yeah, I'm actually talking to people on the chat and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll
We
talk
always
about our favorite.
I know. We're like, did you hear this? Did you see what
Yeah,
that
did
person
you listen
posted?
to that video?
Oh,
Nikki, how many countries follow you?
all of them.
Are you kidding me? Come on. So many.
Oh, so
Wow.
many.
Hey, Ba-
Hey,
yeah,
down in
Baltimore.
Antarctica, I am
Yeah,
famous.
our famous duo.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I could imagine.
famous.
All the world is
The only
learning.
time I'm
I'm
famous.
teaching the whole world. Yes. They're learning from me. They ask me questions
Uh,
and blah, 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 blah. Shoot. It gets,
uh,
to be honest with you, it gets kind of, it's just entertaining. That's all it is. It's entertaining at its best. You come up
mhm.
there. We have like the Lori and Hardy show and stuff like that. Todd Bell, Abbott and Costello. We have all these shows to make us laugh. And then and the thing is, again, you just have to sit down there and watch, drink yourself a cup of coffee, and just listen to them talk and just laugh.
Yeah.
It is. It's so much BS, but it's so funny. Being the
Right.
number one of the East Coast, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people out there have
Did
actually,
they move back, Daniel?
huh?
What's that?
What was
Did
it?
they move back? Did they
Oh,
move
is
back?
he back? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. They're like 10, 15 minutes up the road from me. So
Um.
yeah,
Well, I knew
Wow.
they were
because they don't
going
know where I
to.
live. I know where they live though. Huh?
Yeah, I knew that you had said that they were gonna be back up here somewhere or back up to your place, but
Yeah,
I
they
didn't know if it happened. But I
yeah
did
they've been
notice
back
that.
for almost 2 months now.
Oh, really? That long?
Yeah,
Wow. See,
yeah, it's
that's
been
how
about
long I
close to
stopped
2
watching them.
months now.
Yeah, I just
Oh
stopped watching.
yeah, so yeah
Wow.
they made fun of me in one of their not their yeah a few videos back because addressing something that Sam said in a video. It was an
Mhm.
old video, but they acted on it
Yeah.
as if it was new. And of course, my name got brought up somewhere along the lines there, and um, what's her name? What's her name said that? Oh, Daniel's just mad and jealous because he's just mad and jealous because he didn't get a deer this year, and I did.
Oh, yeah, I think I
Yeah.
see.
And you know something? They need to make sure that they know how to
Huh.
pronounce. One thing that really gets me is that make sure that they know how to pronounce my name. It's not Mir,
Oh,
it's
they.
Bar. It's Baltimore, not Baldomir. You know, it's
Well,
Baltimore.
that's what Sam was talking because they keep mispronouncing his last name. It's Deloach, not Deluch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's pronounced Baldemar, and if you cannot pronounce the word Baldemar, it's Baltimore. I'll be happy with that.
yeah,
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I know some people pronounce your name Baltimore, like Baltimore, Maryland.
yeah,
I've heard some people call you Baltimore, which is
yeah,
closer
or
than
Baltimore,
most would.
yeah, or Baltimore, and I say, yeah, Harry Potter, yeah, no, no,
Yeah.
Oh my!
Good night, you guys.
night,
Peace.
All right, everyone, have a good night, and until next time, we're out.
night.
Of course, on this one here, when you hit the end button, it takes 20 minutes.